You are not going to believe what we have just witnessed. I am still shaking. The entire wrestling world has stopped spinning on its axis tonight because what just happened backstage wasn't a match, it wasn't a segment, and it definitely wasn't part of the script. This was an execution. This was a massacre. If you thought you knew the landscape of the WWE, if you thought you knew the loyalties of the Bloodline or the morality of the American Nightmare, you need to throw everything you know into the trash right now. Because 10 minutes ago, the impossible happened. 10 minutes ago, the lines between hero and villain didn't just blur, they were obliterated in a storm of broken glass, twisted steel, and the agonized screams of the Scottish warrior. We have received exclusive reports, footage that is being scrubbed from social media as we speak, confirming that Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu, yes, you heard me right, the undisputed champion and the Samoan werewolf, two men who should be tearing each other apart, have just united to absolutely dismantle Drew McIntyre in the backstage parking lot. This wasn't a wrestling move. This was a mugging. This was a systematic destruction of a human being that has left medical personnel scrambling and security teams paralyzed with fear. I need you to listen to me very carefully because the hierarchy of power didn't just change, it was beaten into the concrete floor. Before we break down every single second of this horrifying and electrifying assault, I need you to hit that like button right now. Do it for the history we are witnessing. Do it because we are the only ones bringing you the raw, unfiltered truth of this situation while the networks try to cut to commercial. Comment down below immediately whose side are you on? Did Drew McIntyre deserve this? And please, share this video. The algorithm is going to try to bury this story because it's too violent, it's too real, so we need your help to get the truth out. If you love this channel and you appreciate us staying up to bring you this breaking news, please verify that you are subscribed. We work tirelessly, day and night, to be your eyes and ears behind the curtain, and your subscription means the world to us. Now, brace yourselves, because we are going into the war zone. To understand the magnitude of what just took place, you have to understand the level of hatred that was bubbling in that building tonight. We knew Drew McIntyre was on a warpath. We knew he had crossed lines. But nobody, absolutely nobody, predicted that his disrespect would become the catalyst for the most unholy alliance in WWE history. Reports from inside the arena state that McIntyre had been walking around backstage all afternoon like he owned the place, bullying production staff, getting in the face of referees, and running his mouth about both the Rhodes family legacy and the Anoa'i family bloodline. That is a dangerous game to play. You don't tug on Superman's cape, and you certainly don't spit in the face of the High Chief's enforcer. But Drew, in his arrogance, did both. Witnesses near the gorilla position say the incident started innocuously enough. Drew was cutting a promo for social media, ranting about how he carried the company through the pandemic, how he was the true chosen one, and how Cody Rhodes was nothing but a suit-wearing politician and Jacob Fatu was nothing but a savage on a leash. He said things about Dusty Rhodes that I cannot repeat here. He said things about the elders of the bloodline that would get a man excommunicated in Samoa. And that is when the air in the room changed. That is when the temperature dropped below freezing. The first sign of trouble wasn't a shout. It was a noise that sounded like a car crash. We are told that Jacob Fatu didn't walk up to Drew, he launched himself. The Samoan werewolf reportedly dove off a production crate, flying through the air with zero regard for his own safety, and crashed into McIntyre with a force that knocked a heavy steel lighting rig completely over. The sound of metal hitting the concrete floor echoed through the entire backstage area. It was the sound of chaos erupting. But here is where the story takes the turn that has everyone losing their minds. Usually, when the bloodline attacks, security rushes in. Usually, the babyfaces come to save the day. But when Cody Rhodes appeared on the scene, he didn't run in to break it up. He didn't wave for referees. He didn't try to pull Jacob Fatu off of Drew McIntyre. The American Nightmare, the man who stands for honor and justice, walked calmly up to the brawl, loosened his tie, took off his suit jacket, and joined in. Let that sink in. Cody Rhodes saw the most dangerous man in the bloodline assaulting a fellow superstar, and he decided to help the assailant. This speaks volumes to how despised Drew McIntyre has become. It speaks to a level of rage in Cody Rhodes that we haven't seen since he smashed the throne. The description of the beatdown is graphic. Fatu was described as a whirlwind of violence, throwing hands with a speed and ferocity that McIntyre couldn't defend against. Drew is a big man, a powerhouse, but he was completely overwhelmed by the sheer chaotic energy of Jacob Fatu. And every time Drew tried to create separation, every time he tried to land a Glasgow kiss or create space to breathe, Cody Rhodes was there to cut off his escape. We are hearing reports that Cody used a steel chair. Not in the way you see in the ring, where they hit the back or the gut. Witnesses say Cody wrapped the chair around Drew's ankle while Jacob Fatu held him down. The symbolism there is terrifying. They weren't just trying to hurt him, they were trying to take away his base, his ability to stand, his ability to fight. They were systematically dismantling the Scottish warrior piece by piece. There was a moment, according to a producer who was hiding behind a catering table, where Drew managed to shove Fatu into a pile of road cases. For a split second, it looked like McIntyre might turn the tide. He roared, his face covered in blood, eyes wild with desperation. He looked for a weapon, grabbing a fire extinguisher from the wall. But before he could discharge it, Cody Rhodes hit him with a disaster kick off a forklift. Yes, you heard me. Cody Rhodes used a forklift as a launch pad. The athleticism required to do that in dress shoes is insane, but the anger required to take that risk is even crazier. The kick dropped Drew to his knees, dazed, the fire extinguisher clattering to the floor. And that was the end of the fight, but it wasn't the end of the punishment. This is the part that is going to be talked about for years. This is the part that makes you question everything. Jacob Fatu, seeing Drew on his knees, looked at Cody. There was no communication, no verbal plan, just a look of mutual understanding between the enforcer and the champion. A nod. A dark, silent agreement that said, finish him. Cody grabbed Drew by the hair, pulling his face up to look at the camera lens of a terrified cameraman who had just arrived. Drew's eyes were glazed, his nose reportedly broken, blood streaming down his chest. Cody whispered something into Drew's ear. We don't know what it was yet, but we have lip readers analyzing the footage as we speak, and then he shoved him backward, and right into the path of Jacob Fatu. Fatu had climbed up the side of a semi-truck trailer. I am not exaggerating. The man was 10 feet in the air, perched like a gargoyle, like a predator waiting for the kill. When Cody shoved Drew into position, Fatu leaped. He didn't do a splash. He didn't do a moonsault. He came down with a double stomp right onto the chest of Drew McIntyre. The sound, they say, was sickening. It was the sound of ribs snapping. It was the sound of the air leaving a man's body so violently that it sounded like a tire blowing out. Drew didn't even scream. He just crumpled. He hit the concrete and he didn't move. He didn't twitch. He just lay there, a broken heap of humanity in the middle of the loading dock. And what did Cody and Jacob do? Did they high-five? Did they shake hands? No. That would be too simple. That would be too cliché. They just stood over the fallen body of their common enemy. Cody Rhodes, straightening his tie, wiping a speck of Drew's blood off his white shirt. Jacob Fatu, chest heaving, staring down with those wild, unblinking eyes. They stood shoulder to shoulder for 10 seconds. The visuals of the clean-cut American hero and the feral Samoan savage standing together over the wreckage of Drew McIntyre is the most powerful image of this decade. Then, without a word, they walked away in opposite directions. Cody went left, back toward the locker rooms. Jacob went right, out into the night. They didn't acknowledge each other again. They didn't need to. The message was sent. The message was clear: you can mess with the Rhodes family, you can mess with the bloodline, but if you mess with both, you are signing your own death warrant. Now, we have to talk about the fallout. We have to talk about the implications of this because they are massive. First of all, what is the condition of Drew McIntyre? We are hearing rumors of broken ribs, a severe concussion, and potential ankle damage from the chair shot. If these reports are true, Drew McIntyre is out of action for months. WrestleMania? Gone. Royal Rumble? Gone. His career momentum has been halted by a sudden, brutal stop. But the bigger question is, what does this mean for the relationship between Cody Rhodes and the bloodline? We have spent years watching them try to destroy each other. We have seen Cody end the reign of Roman Reigns. We have seen the bloodline try to end Cody's career. And yet, tonight, they found common ground. Does this mean a truce? Is this the beginning of a mutual respect? Or was this just a one-night-only ceasefire to deal with a pest that had become too annoying to ignore? Think about the position this puts Solo Sikoa in. His enforcer, his weapon of mass destruction, just teamed up with the enemy. Did Solo authorize this? Did Jacob Fatu go into business for himself? If Jacob Fatu is making decisions on his own, that threatens the entire structure of the new bloodline. A weapon that thinks for itself is a dangerous weapon. And if Cody Rhodes is willing to dirty his hands and team with the villains, does that tarnish his image? Or does it make him even more dangerous because it shows he will do whatever it takes to silence his critics? The internet is already exploding with theories. Some are saying this is a double turn. Some are saying Cody is slowly becoming what he hates: a cold, calculated chief. Others are saying Jacob Fatu is realizing that the bloodline is holding him back and that he respects Cody more than he respects Solo. The possibilities are endless, and every single one of them is terrifying for the rest of the roster. Imagine a world where Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu are on the same page. Who stops them? Who could possibly stand in their way? We need to look at the security footage again. There was a specific moment I want to highlight. Right before the attack ended, when Cody held Drew up for the camera. Look at Cody's eyes. There was no remorse. There was no hesitation. That is not the look of the babyface we know. That is the look of a man who has been pushed too far. And look at Jacob Fatu. He wasn't just attacking, he was protecting Cody's blind side. At one point, a security guard tried to grab Cody, and Fatu headbutted the guard into oblivion. He protected Cody Rhodes. Why? Why would he do that? Is it possible that the enemy of my enemy is my friend trope has gone too far? Or is there something deeper here? Let's remember the history. Dusty Rhodes helped train so many members of the Inoue family. There is a deep, generational respect there, buried under layers of storyline hatred. Maybe, just maybe, Drew McIntyre insulted that shared history. Maybe Drew said something about the wrestling business that offended the very soul of these two multi-generational superstars. When you insult the business, when you insult the legacy, families come together. This beatdown serves as a warning to everyone in the back. It serves as a warning to Seth Rollins. It serves as a warning to CM Punk. It serves as a warning to Roman Reigns himself. The landscape is volatile. Alliances can shift in a heartbeat. And violence is the only universal language spoken in the WWE right now. I want you to close your eyes and imagine the sound of that double stomp again. Imagine the sheer weight of Jacob Fatu coming down on you from 10 feet in the air. That is a career-ending move. That is a move designed to retire people. And Cody Rhodes set it up. The American Nightmare served up the assist for the kill shot. This is a darker Cody Rhodes. This is a more ruthless Cody Rhodes. And quite frankly, I love it. I love the intensity. I love the unpredictability. This is why we watch wrestling. This is why we obsess over this sport. Because just when you think you have the answers, they change the questions. We are going to be monitoring Drew McIntyre's social media closely. If he stays silent, we know it's serious. If he posts a hospital selfie, we know it's an angle. But given the brutality we just described, given the reports coming from the local medical facility, I don't think we're going to hear from Drew for a long time. The Scottish Warrior has fallen, and he was felled by the two wolves of the industry, the Nightmare and the Werewolf. I need to know what you guys think about the referee situation as well. Where were the officials? Where was Nick Aldis? It took them 5 minutes to get the scene under control. That tells me that this was so explosive, so sudden, that management was caught completely off guard. This wasn't a sanctioned brawl. This was a street fight. This was a crime scene. As we await an official statement from Triple H or Nick Aldis, we have to wonder what the punishment will be. Will Cody be fined? Will Jacob be suspended? Or will management look the other way because Drew McIntyre had it coming? There is a justice system in wrestling, and sometimes, that justice is meted out in dark parking lots with steel chairs and concrete floors. Tonight, the jury was Cody Rhodes, and the executioner was Jacob Fatu. This story is developing rapidly. We are hearing that Solo Sikoa has just arrived at the arena and he does not look happy. We are hearing that Randy Orton is looking for Cody to ask him what the hell he was thinking. The backstage area is a powder keg right now, and one spark could blow the whole thing sky high. We will be here all night tracking every movement, every tweet, every leak from the locker room. Please, if you haven't already, make sure you have notifications turned on. You do not want to wake up tomorrow morning and be the only one who doesn't know the update on Drew's condition. You do not want to miss the fallout from Solo Sikoa's reaction. This is the biggest story of the year, possibly the biggest story of the era. The forbidden door between the Bloodline and the Rhodes camp has been kicked open, and the draft from that opening is chilling. We are committed to this channel. We are committed to you, the fans. We don't have the big corporate backing, we don't have the insider connections that the big networks have, but we have passion, and we have the drive to get you the news first. So please, click that subscribe button. It's a small click for you, but it's a massive help for us. It keeps the lights on, it keeps us recording, and it keeps the truth flowing. Let's recap the carnage one last time before we sign off for this update. Drew McIntyre, destroyed. Cody Rhodes, unhinged. Jacob Fatu, unleashed. An alliance formed in blood and violence. A parking lot that looks like a war zone. This is the Ring Rumble, and we are just getting started. Do not go anywhere. Refresh your feed. Check the community tab. We will be posting updates as soon as we get them. If Drew McIntyre is transferred to a trauma center, you will hear it here first. If Cody Rhodes is stripped of the title for his actions, you will hear it here first. If Jacob Fatu is fired, you will hear it here first. Thank you for watching, thank you for supporting independent wrestling journalism, and thank you for being part of the Ring Rumble family. Stay safe, stay tuned, and remember, in the WWE, never say never. We'll see you in the next video, which might be sooner than you think. Peace.